In this video, I'm going to talk about my phobia of snakes and if I was able to heal it with psychedelic therapy. My name is Alice. I'm from a whole new high. Welcome to our channel. So let me tell you a little bit about my phobia. I have always been scared of snakes. Since I was a little girl, I had this memory where there was a snake in our garden and I screamed, I was scared, and my grandma came, she took me, she brought me into the garage, she closed the door and she's like, okay, now we're safe. So that experience is really imprinted in my subconscious mind of snakes being really scary if my grandma was that scared of her too. And as an adult, I started traveling around the world and I was scared of snakes from the beginning. But the moment that it changed was when I was in Africa. I was going through the jungle, a little bit scared, and our African guide said, snakes can see your fear. So if you're not scared of them, you're fine. They will never going to attack you. But if you are scared, they will see that. And then the likelihood that they will bite you is much higher. And I was like, oh my God, I'm scared of them. And that just catapulted my fear into oblivion. From that moment on, I was so scared. I couldn't walk on the field anymore because there could be a snake. At night times, I would wake up, I would think there was a snake in the room. Like my fear would really, like my mind would make it, blow it up, make it big. It came to the point that I actually had to buy snake bite-proof boots, because then I wasn't scared anymore, because I knew even if a snake bites me, I will be fine. And from that moment on, I could be in countries again where there were snakes. I never really had any negative encounter with the snakes, so this was just really just a phobia. But the very interesting thing is that I've used psychedelics to get to the bottom of where this phobia comes from. And the memory that I just told you about how the fear got bigger because of the African guide told me that snakes can see your fear. This memory came up on an MDMA journey. I had no idea that this is what blew the fear out of proportion. So it was MDMA who gave me that awareness. And I actually had some very great insights on MDMA of where that fear came from. And it was because when I was a child, my dad did not like if I got scared. He would either punish me for being scared or would humiliate me, laugh at me for being scared. He would always say there's no reason to be scared. He would get angry if I was scared. So being scared was very scary. Showing my fear was really scary. So I had a lot of suppressed fear that I've worked through in the past 10 years. Because when I was a teenager, I just thought, I'm not scared of anything. I was super courageous. And then I was, at the end of my teenage years, I would go to Haiti. I would walk alone through the most dangerous slum in the Americas. And I wasn't scared. I really wasn't scared. Of course I was scared, but I wasn't connected to my fear, because as a child I had so disconnected from my fear because there was just no way I could share it, because it was dangerous to share it, because I would feel even worse if I shared it. So I had just disconnected subconsciously, but it was all still there. All the fear was still there. Now the only thing that my dad was scared of was snakes. And when I was 2 years old, we were in Morocco and I saw how he was scared of snakes. So my subconscious made the association, it's not okay to be scared, but if dad is scared of snakes, then it's okay to be scared of snakes. And I took all the fear that I had and projected them onto snakes. Then the experience I had with my great grandma when I was 5, and there was a snake next to me and I got scared, and she, instead of showing me that I don't have to be scared of that snake, because it was not even a toxic snake really, it was really a very harmless snake, but showing me that, like making me feel that this was a very dangerous animal, was also imprinted in my subconscious mind. And then the experience with the African guide in the jungle who said that snakes can see your fear and they will only attack you if they see your fear. That just really reminded me of my childhood. Subconsciously, well, of course, that was really going on my subconscious mind. Consciously, I had no awareness of that. But that was just like my little girl who knew that if she would show that she was scared, she was going to get attacked. So in that moment when the African told me, like, all this fear that I had accumulated from my past, that I was repressed and suppressed and denied by my conscious mind, boom, got projected onto the snakes. And now I was terrified of snakes because the snakes was representing everything I ever was scared of as a little girl. And there were many things to be scared of. Now, having that awareness, I asked myself while I was on MDMA, so what can I do now? I was in Costa Rica at the time. And the answer was, I need to let myself be scared and show it to others, because that was the missing experience from my childhood, that my fear was never shared, was never seen. I never felt protected. So I was living there with a group of very amazing friends, and I told them about this, and they were all really supportive. Nobody tried to talk me out of the fear anymore, saying like, come on, there's no snake here and it's fine. No, they all just really took care of my fear and validated the fear, and were just there and gave me a feeling of being protected. The snake boots also really helped to feel protected. So that way, I consciously went through a missing experience of my childhood, now in my adulthood, and I had really, really beautiful experiences and could release a lot of the fear that was stored up in my system. Then I moved to a house also still in Costa Rica that was in the middle of the jungle, so now there were lots of snakes around, and I would microdose LSD and actually walk around with bare feet around our house, just making sure that I knew every step I took. I just knew I had to take my place and make sure energetically that nature knew, okay, now this is my place, and not shy away from it. And then energetically send that out so no snake would come and be surprised and bite me, because I have taken my place very slowly also, because you don't rush into your place. So that was another lesson. And then later that year, we were living in Bali, and Carrie and I were there together, and then we heard about the cobra rescue mission. Carrie saw it online, and people were allowed to go with them. It was a non-profit organization from Bali that was helping snakes, cobras. They were paying the people that would usually shoot the cobras to make handbags the same amount that they would get for a handbag to save the snake. And we would go there, like they would go there and take the snake and release it in another place in the wild. And that snake was there and guarding her eggs. That's why she wouldn't move. So we went on a cobra rescue mission. Carrie was really amazing that day, super supportive, and I was, of course, on a microdose of LSD to make things easier and to really face my fear spot on and stand in front of a cobra. And the cobra is actually the snake that I was most scared of. So on the way there, we had 4 baby cobras in the car, and they were in water bottles with holes so they could breathe, because they need to be released in the wild. And I started with holding the baby cobra in my hand, with being protected by the bottle, which was helpful. But I was really scared, but I was allowing my fear to be there, and I was allowing to still go towards the snake anyway. Then we had to stop because our guide needed to rescue another snake that had gone into a gym, and we went there, and it was really cute because I felt like a little child, and there were other people in the street, and there was another little child in the street, and the child was hiding behind her mother just because she was also a bit scared of the snake. And I was doing exactly the same thing at the same time to Carrie, and I just looked at the child next to me, and she looked at me, and I was just like, wow, here, I'm totally in my inner child right now too, and I'm allowing myself to be scared, and it's okay to be scared for me and also for Carrie. And then we actually went to see the cobra, and we saw 2 cobras that day, and I felt so fine seeing the cobra, and when they were catching the cobra, and it was really transforming for me, this experience. Like at some point when I was very close to the cobra, I thought, I am in control. And that really, because of the microdose, that really sank in. I was in control. It was not that anybody was out there for me. No, I was in control. And I was safe. I was protected. I was with people that really knew what they were doing. And at some point when they were taking the cobra and they were putting it into a bag because they needed to bring it to another place to release it again. So they took it into a bag, and the cobra was fighting and didn't want to be put into the bag, and of course had no idea what was happening. And at that moment I felt like the cobra felt just like me, just as scared as me, or even more scared than me. That really shifted things. And after that we went to rescue another cobra, and it was so close. It was like 2 meters away from the cobra, super close. And I managed also to stand next to Carrie instead of behind her. And it was a very liberating experience, and it really helped that I was microdosing LSD to really deal with my fear. So I was very proud of myself to face my fear head on, while feeling protected, while feeling safe, while realizing that I was in control. And that's something I might have been able to do without psychedelics, but it would have been a lot harder. So have I cured my phobia? No, it is still there, but the intensity has lessened a lot. And it was really interesting to use psychedelics to find out the root cause for this phobia. And then this is a topic that I will work on for probably many more years to come, because it is really big and there was so much that was suppressed, but I know now how to deal with it, and I know where it comes from. So that has been a really great help. And I just need to remember, like, when the phobia comes, that I'm in control and that I'm safe and I'm protected. And once I tell myself that, the phobia decreases in intensity. So I hope you enjoyed this video about psychedelic use, of like psychedelic therapy used for phobias. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you have cured your phobia with psychedelics or MDMA, I would definitely like to know. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and please come again, subscribe to our channel. Hope to see you here again. Thank you.